For some of us, it's not until you travel outside of Omaha that you discover just how one dimensionally some of us have been experiencing life. To travel south, for instance, and to find it is commonplace for blacks to be involved in marine culture for generations. So many black households own boats and jet skis. They own horses, they have lake homes and ATVs and own their own acreages. It was culture shock to attend an HBCU and meet brothers on baseball scholarships. I thought to myself, baseball? And it was like, duh, you're in an all black college. And it was normal for a lot of the athletes, like from Los Angeles, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Illinois, Louisiana. They had been playing baseball all of their lives. And I couldn't think of anyone I went to high school with in Omaha that was going to college to play baseball. Every year, the College World Series stirs these sentiments within. I guess it was an eventuality that this would inform my work. For my kids to see the CWS on the news and ask, is that here? Wow. I'm like, yeah, downtown. It's like we're living in parallel universes. I wonder, how do we get here? Is it healthy to know I'm aware and that I'm here and not to address it? So I've studied some here and there, and the older I get, the more I study, the more I learn, and the more I care to learn the richness of the black experience as it pertains to baseball was shocking to me. To learn that because of segregation and Jim Crow laws that blacks had an alternative universe right here on American soil as far as baseball was concerned. And that it was self-sustaining, rich, electrifying, dynamic, and that it was a part of the thread of post-Civil War life for Black America. One of the primary sources of pride and inspiration for blacks at that time. As I read and learned, all I could ask myself is, why didn't anybody teach me all of this sooner? And what happened? To learn that the consequential terms of desegregating and integrating baseball meant the very decimation of the Negro Leagues pained me. Why couldn't it be this and that rather than this or that? To learn of absolute bosses like Andrew Rube Foster, who started the Chicago American Giants and founded the first Negro National League in 1920, and that his league drew well over 500,000 fans back then. And Gus Greenlee, who owned the Pittsburgh Crawfords, and he built the first black-owned baseball stadium in the United States, and he controlled the whole baseball product from end to end. He founded the first Negro League All-Star game, and they played to a sold-out crowd in Comiskey Park in Chicago when, the majority culture thought it would fail. And that black families traveled from literally all over the United States to attend those All-Star games. To learn of black baseball superstars like Cool Papa Bell, Oscar Charleston, John Buck O'Neill, Buck Leonard, Pop Lloyd, Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, too many others to name. And Negro teams that were barnstormed, like the Baltimore Giants, the New York Black Yankees, Homestead Grays, Pittsburgh Crawfords, and again, too many others to name. And because of segregation, blacks had to have their own hotels and restaurants, gas stations, auto service garages. And only black-owned newspapers would cover the events. And it went on and on. I had no idea that the sport of black American baseball was at that time the primary economic driver of the national black economic ecosystem. And after integrating into the major leagues, it was gone, all gone. From 100% Negro League to now in 2021, we average 80. From 100% from 1920 to about 1950, 100% black baseball participation in the Negro Leagues to now in the major leagues, about 7%. Equally diminished are the numbers of black-owned hotels and restaurants and gas stations, service stations, media outlets, and the like. Decimation. How should we feel about this deal this many years later? So now we look back and we learn, we look forward realistically. We have to take a deep breath knowing what we have to do. We have to teach our children their heritage in baseball as well. We have to rebuild the vestiges of pride that were forfeited for acceptance, only now to be disregarded as uninterested in the sport. Yeah, we got to rebuild like Ice Cube is doing with the Big Three Basketball League. Just like Rube Foster and Gus Greenlee. This is in our blood. It's in our veins. It's in our intellect. We can continue to build on their foundation. We have to. For our own sakes. We have to.